Good morning and welcome to another video. Welcome to Wembury Beach, I think it's called. So we're here to photograph. There's some nice rocks coming out of the water down here as the tide's low tide at sunrise, which is perfect. Only problem is the rocks are down here and sun is rising over here. And look at that sky already. It's only 7 o'clock in the morning. Sunrise is at 10 past 8, I think, this morning. And we're already getting some incredible light. But I don't know whether we're going to get it in the image, that's the problem. So there is, I'm going to get over this barrier. Let's just shine this down here. So there's some really nice jaggedy rocks that I think can make some nice images. Yeah, it's a long exposure. So if I don't get that nice sun, long exposure I think we'll go for next. And yeah. Go for that instead if we miss out on that light. But I'll see if I can find a composition with that light in, because it actually looks really nice. Just trying to think, I've never been here before, so it's going to be interesting. I'm just trying to get across the rocks here because I think somewhere along here there might be a nice image, and it's just trying to find the right location. The tide's on its way in, so it's finding somewhere to stand that I'm not going to get soaking wet, and I'm going to be able to pack up quite quick if it comes in too quick, because I know I do have a tendency of when these when I set up and start taking long exposures and stuff, I tend to be out there for quite a long time, and tide does come in quite quick once it starts coming in. The rocks themselves aren't actually that slippery, he says, famous last words, but it's not too it's not too bad. But there's a lot of hidden pools of water you got to watch out for. So you put where you're putting your feet. So what I might do is just head up here to this. There's a bit of a sand bed there, and just see whether there's any compositions there. I would like to get that rock in shot. Obviously, sun rising over this side, so. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what it's like. I can't really get all the way over there. It would be nice to get over there because you've got some nice waves going on over there. The rocks come out there and it will make a nice image. So I might do that. I might see if I can get over there later on. But at the moment, there's a big plane of water, I don't know what it's called, where it just comes down from somewhere. So it's just like a big stream, I guess, coming down. So it's a bit hard to cross, but once there's a bit more light, I might be able to find another accessible place. So right now, I'm going to get up here before I miss this epic light. Right, this is as far as I'm going to come, I think. I was heading up here, but I think this is actually a nice composition. I've got some rocks here leading out to the bigger rock in the background there, and some water just lapping in every so often. So I think this could make quite a nice image. Come down maybe a little bit lower and isolate those rocks with that in the background. And see what that looks like. I think the light, sunrise, I don't think it's going to be that great over this end, but over there, look, it's looking absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to set up quickly. Right, so I am completely ignoring that light behind me. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. Whoa, if I don't fall over. So right now I've got the rocks in the foreground and then the little rock in the background. At the moment I'm getting quite an overexposed image on the sky, so I'm going to put a hard grad in, a 9ND hard grad, just to bring that sky down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to polarize it, which I have the polarizer on the front, as you could probably tell if I do this. You can see the difference. So polarizer, just take that glare off the water, and then I'm exposing at 15 seconds, f8, ISO 100. I'm just going to put a 2-second timer on. Oops. If I can find the 2-second timer. And there we go. So that image is exposing. So I'm using these rocks to lead your eye out to the big rock, even though it's not that big in the frame. I'm hoping some of that nice golden light that we've got here is just going to come across and hit that rock at some point, and that will just make that look even nicer. And there it is. That's the image, and I'll pop that up on the screen. Let me know in the comments whether you like it or not. It's my first one in the bag, so now it's time to go and have a little look around and see what else I can find. By the time this video goes out, it's probably been a couple of weeks since I put my back out. I put my back out in the snow. So I've tried to lighten my load. I've taken out one of the tripods. I normally carry 2 tripods on my back, one for my camera and one for the vlog camera, so I can put you up nice and high. And then I've taken out my 100 to 400 and a couple of other little bits that I carry, like spare batteries. I've just lightened the load generally just to try and ease the pressure on my back. And now that I've taken that 100 to 400 out, I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, that shot would be amazing. Just isolate that, the rocks hitting those, the waves hitting those rocks there, just in the background. I don't know if you can start where my finger's pointing here, but just up here somewhere. Makes, yeah, I think it would make an absolutely great shot. So I suppose it's that, was it FOMO, fear of missing out. I always try and carry as much as I can, you know, depending on where I'm going. But it's always finding the shot that you couldn't get. What I personally do, I don't know let me know what you think in the comments, whether you do this or not, but me personally, I always find the shot for the lens that I don't carry on me. So if I haven't got the 100 to 400, I always start seeing things in 100 to 400. Oh, that'd be a great shot. And if I haven't got the wide, I think, oh, this would make a great wide shot. Not that I very rarely come out without my wide, but yeah, I think it's trying to train that mindset, isn't it, into just seeing what you need to see rather than focusing on everything. Try and isolate what lens you've got on you and what subject you're trying to take a photo of. So yeah, I need to get into that mindset a lot more, because yeah, I'm just seeing stuff in 100 to 400 at the moment because I haven't got it. Still, anyway, sunrise is a couple of minutes away. I think we're not going to get any images, I don't think. Well, we got this cloud. It's just started lighting up now. Absolutely stunning. I don't know if I can get out on these rocks a little bit. Maybe I can get a composition out there, out all the way out here. But by the time I traipse all the way out there, I might miss the shot. Oh well. Live and learn. I've just seen this pool of water here, and I thought this might be nice with it's almost like a bowl of rocks, and I'll just show you the image on the back of the screen. So you've got this bowl of rock following the water goes all the way out. Then you've got this beautiful sky and this rock in the background on the left third of the image. And my settings are f8, ISO 100, a fourth of a second, and I've got my polarizer on, and I've also got a medium grad, 6 ND medium grad on there as well. So I'm just bringing out that sky a little bit more because it's just overexposing. So yeah, that's my shot. I'll pop that image up on screen. So I've just eliminated the rock off the image here, just because I want to see if I can see this ridge of rocks just here. I want to try and get that with the waves crashing over the top of it. And I think this just makes it a little bit of it's okay, a leading line up to it, but it's not the greatest composition in the world. But I just wanted to get those rocks. And I don't have anything longer than the 24 to 105, so I put the 24 to 105 on. I'm at 105 mil, and I've got a 6 ND medium grad on, and the polarizer. F11, because I've had to bump my ISO up from f8 to f11 just to keep the half a second exposure that I'm taking, and I'm on ISO 100. And all I've done is I've put the intervalometer on just so I don't get any camera shake in that. And just let me know what you think in the comments, because my thoughts on this personally is half a second works really well for small rocks like this when you've got the water that laps over the top of the rock. I think the half a second is probably about the right exposure for my personal preference. Let me know what your personal preference is, because I know like big rocks, if you want like epic, like say lighthouse and water hitting it, freezing everything would be really good. But in this situation, I think half a second works well. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Which ones do you prefer? How long do you take your exposures for? Be interesting to know. So that's going to be the setup. This is going to be the shot when the water comes over. And I will pop the image up on the screen when I get a really good one. I'm not going to make you wait for the perfect wave to come over though. So yeah, I'll pop that image up on the screen. One more from here, and I'm going to go off and see whether there's anything else before I finish this video. So I've flipped the camera on its side, so I've gone horizontal again, and I just want to get a nice landscape on this one because I wasn't including the rock to start with, but now I've got that nice beautiful golden light hitting the rock. I think it kind of balances this out a little bit. So we've got a leading line, and then you've got this as the balance, and with the waves freezing in the background, I think it makes quite a nice image. And yeah, my settings are half a second still, f11 ISO 100 at focal length of 17mm, and I've got the 9-stop 9ND hard grad on, and the circular polarizer on as well, just to try and take some of that glare off. Yeah, I think it works well. I think the tide might be literally on its way out though, because since I got here, when I got to this position, there was loads of waves hitting that thing and it was coming over really nicely. And now it seems to be very few and far between. I'm not really seeing much hitting that rock, so there may not be an image with the water coming over the rock, but I still have that balance of the rock and the sea and the waves. So yeah, kind of works, but kind of doesn't. So I will pop the image up on the screen if I get a good one. Hopefully I will, but you never know. But I'll pop it up on the screen anyway, and then I'm going to head back over to the other side of the beach, which is just over there, and see what compositions are over there before I head back to the car, get a nice cup of coffee and head home. Bit of a safety warning, and that is just be careful when you come, if you do decide to go out to any of these rocks, these types of rocks, where the formation's like it's very uneven. As the tide starts to come back in again, you'll start getting these channels that are natural, that go through the water, and they build up and they get quite big and quite deep. I don't know if you can see how deep that is, but yeah, they get quite big and quite deep relatively fast. So when I came out, there was hardly anything here, and then on the way back you've got these big channels, so you can get cut off quite quickly on these rocks. And unless you're prepared to get your feet soaking wet, obviously, then stay out there as long as you need. But just be careful when you're coming back, and also don't step on green rocks because it's usually algae, and algae is usually slippery. As I found out when I went out with Gary not that long ago, slipped right up on the algae, came straight over, twisted my leg back. I'm like a walking nightmare. So yeah, just be very careful on these rocks. They can get quite slippy and you can get cut off quite easily. So public service announcement over. Right, so I want to get to this rock. So you got the rock there, but then behind this, you can't really see in this image that there's a nice rock that's getting hit by waves, causing a lot of splash up, and I want to see if I can try and get an image of that. However, it's a bit treacherous coming across all these rocks. Just heading up, literally just slippery and treacherous and dangerous, and whatever words are there for falling over and hurting your back even more than it's already hurting. I don't know. I'm just trying to get through this way. Whew. Which was not too bad when you're just you, but when you've got a big backpack on your back, it takes that weight and makes you unbalanced. Although actually, the weight I got on the front of me probably balances me out, to be honest. So, probably find out when I've lost a load of weight, my backpack will make me fall over all the time, because I won't be used to the uneven distribution. So we've come all the way across here so far. I've just got to here. Now, you can see the rocks here that I was talking about with the splashing, and obviously the big rock in the background. The question is, how much further do I go? Because it gets very steep and rocky as you go further up. Do I just set up here? Or do I just have a little look? I might have a little look further up. Just see how it goes, but it's starting to get a little bit slippery underfoot now. There we go. Very old rocks, but yeah. I think this is going to do. I'm going to set up here, 24 to 105, and see what I can get from this point. Right, I was over here. I made it across here, then I came up here. I've noticed this little walkway up here. I'm hoping it leads further out, so I'm going to go up there. Yeah, I literally can't control myself. I got there and I thought, I should just go out further. I'll just keep going. I'd said it before, and I'll say it again, the things I do for this channel. So let's head up this tiny little crevice and see where it leads. Hey, and it's led to a little path that will take us further along this coast. Probably the southwest coastal path, to be honest. A birdie letter. Yeah. Well, let's hope this shot was worth it. Literally climbing across rocks when I could have just walked across this path the whole time. And this is where I wanted to get to. Look. The question is, now I'm up here, can I get back down? Good question. I couldn't write it, so traipsing all the way across these rocks, all the way down here. I could have just walked this path and then down here. Well, at least I know for next time I come. And now you know if you ever come here. The further and further I get out, the more I realise I need to get out even further. I need to be all the way up there, really, to those sets of rocks there. That's probably the one that I imagined when I looked on Google Maps and I looked at the place. Yeah, so I haven't got the time to get all the way out this day. The coastal path goes all the way out, so it'd be quite an easy walk, I think, to get out there. Just time-wise, I haven't got time. It's going to be an hour to get back home again, and I've got things I need to get done. So this is going to be my final shot right here. Unfortunately, I can't really see anything too good compositionally. The light's just, it's just sat behind a cloud, so we've got no light coming down. I think having these waves coming in from the left-hand side, framing it around the edge of these rocks here, not too wide, so a nice tight crop with that rock in the background. So you've got a mid-ground here, foreground here with these rocks, mid-ground with the water, and then a background with the big rock in the background. So I think that's probably the shot I'm going to go for, and then call it a day, I think. If you're ever in a precarious situation, whichever way the ground's sloping or the weight's going to be on, put that leg out at front. It may seem obvious, but the amount of people I see that are starting photography have the two legs towards the weight and the tripod just tips over. So just have that front leg out in front of you, weight bearing leg, and that will stop your tripod tipping over if it's windy or anything like that. So I've set this up. This gear head has got a little bubble on the top, so I've set that up to be pretty much level, and then I've just tilted the camera down a bit because I'm going to get the composition. Obviously I'm going to get some of this foreground in, and then see what that looks like. But I really do want to get those waves. These waves here on this rock and this rock over here crashing all over the place. Absolutely stunning. I love it. But I've not got the focal length to get to it, and I've not got the back to get to it either. So it's going to have to wait for another day, I'm afraid. Alrighty, so final image. We've got, this is the setup. So I've got a 9 ND hard grad, and I've got the polarizer on. So I've got this little rock here, just here in the foreground here, just bringing your start of the image off here. We got this trail that goes out as a leading line with the sea here. Thirds for the rock and the sky in the top thirds. And my settings, 45th of a second, f8, ISO 100, a stop underexposed, and I'm at 35mm focal length. And I will pop that image up on screen now. So this image is a 10-stop image with a 30-second exposure. Everything else the same composition, and I quite like that. So what I thought I'd do is I'd stick the 15-stop on just to see what it gives me. I have dropped my aperture a little bit because it was giving me a 16-minute exposure. So I've dropped it enough to give me about a 5.5-minute exposure. So I'm just going to see how that turns out. Hopefully it'll be good, but I will pop that up on screen for you right now. Right, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for coming on this little journey with me across the rocks. If you're a fan of long exposures, I'll put a playlist up here of long exposures that I've done. It just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.